Alrighty, so much talk about World Beyond's trailer just dropped, and oh my god, there is just so much to talk about today. At least in terms of the Rick movie. I mean, this is definitely like, we haven't really gotten any type of update, and technically this isn't really an update, but it kind of is on the story. I mean, if I'm being honest, like Jadis's return to the Walking Dead universe it's a massive thing. Like, the last time we saw Jadis, she was in the helicopter with Rick, and they were traveling to the CRM. She was talking about the fact that he was a B, he was never an A, or vice versa. It was something like that. But that was the last time we saw Jadis. Jadis was like, over Rick and saying like, you're okay, you're gonna live. And then they just kind of flew off, and that was 6 to 7 years ago. And so this Jadis is a Jadis that has been with the CRM for the last 6 years. What happened to him afterwards? Where did Jadis take him? Obviously, that wasn't the last time Jadis talked with Rick. Jadis knows where Rick is. When we see Jadis here, she knows exactly where Rick is. She is likely friends with Rick. I don't think I guess she's all full on CRM here, but I don't see her being the villain, right? Like, I think that's just a little bit too much, like she has definitely grown or I guess developed this relationship with Rick. And so there's going to be a lot more there, but still, this is very exciting, combined with the fact that Gimple said that we are going to learn some of the aftermath of that Rick helicopter ride, or that fateful helicopter ride, right? We're going to learn some hints as to what happened there. And so in terms of that tease there anyways, I'm trying to lower my expectations, but I mean, it is the epic final conclusion to World Beyond. That's how they're marketing it. And it is it is how they're ending a show, the first show to end really in the Walking Dead universe. And so obviously, if they're going to be ending their first show ever, they got to really make it a big deal, because however this ends is how people are going to compare the Walking Dead's ending, or they'll compare it to that, or they're going to compare it to how they're going to end Fear the Walking Dead, right? All the discussion then is going to be like, well, we'll see, because, World Beyond ended so poorly. We'll see if they can even do it here. And this is the thing too. If we don't get enough Rick information here, if we don't get enough setup for the movie, then World Beyond will be seen as like a failure. Like, what was the point in this at all? And right now is kind of, with what they're giving us a lot right now. I feel like for the fans, it's kind of the final straw here, right? Like, if this ends up being nothing in the end, man, people are going to be very upset. And I don't know if this constant teasing and no information thing is going to last too much longer, but we're far away from that. As of now, they gave us a ton of information, and I'm very excited. So obviously, if you are new here and you do want to get more Walking Dead content like this, just make sure to be a subscriber. The World Beyond's coming back in a month, which is pretty insane. It's only a month away now. It's September. It does feel like fall now. Like, we're definitely in that fall mindset right now. So yeah, this is really cool to actually have World Beyond airing in like a month from now, Fear the Walking Dead shortly after. And very soon we're going to be seeing Jadis. I can't wait for that episode, to be honest, to see Jadis back in the Walking Dead universe. I'm just going to be completely blown away the entire time. But let's actually talk about certain aspects of the trailer here, because there's other things besides Jadis, but we will talk about Jadis obviously, but that'll be near the end of the video. But with timestamps, I guess if you want to skip to that, you can just skip to it, because yes, I am going to keep doing timestamps, because it seems like it really enhances the viewing experience. Like, if you don't want to hear about certain things that I'm talking about, you can just skip to the parts that you want to hear me talk about, which is just like, yeah, fuck me, right? But I don't know. If it enhances the viewing experience for you guys, I'll gladly do it. So we see Huck here and Hope, and it seems like the main story for this is going to be, because Hope is kind of the main character, right? I know there's some debate as to whether or not it's Hope or Iris, but it seems to be Hope. Everyone is centered on Hope. She seems to be the most important character here in this entire series. And so Hope and Huck are at the CRM. It seems like later on at some point Hope does escape, but it depends on what exactly is happening here. And I do find it interesting that we are going to get some other things outside of the CRM base, just because, yeah, budget wise, right? Like, it seems like we're going to get some stuff, but pretty fast, I'm predicting, like, at least by episode 2 or 3, maybe 4 around there, I'm predicting that like Hope is going to be away from the CRM, out there doing some research in the woods, because it just seems like, yeah, budget wise, you don't want to keep them inside city locations for long, which does kind of suck, but I imagine it's going to be very minimal, because it's only 10 episodes. You can kind of give a little bit more here, right? And I think that's also why they brought Jadis back too, because they want to pump up those ratings, right? Because they probably gave a bit of a bigger budget anyways to World Beyond for its final season. The CRM, and we saw this in a teaser released like a week or two ago, but the CRM are releasing this broadcasting message to the entire CRM, I guess, about the fallen campus colony. So that's the community that they all destroyed last season. And we still kind of want to know why. Like that's a big question, right? Like, why did they do that? We see Felix question Huck about it, and so I do imagine we're gonna get some answers. I don't think it's gonna be anything too crazy, but it's going to hint and that's the thing too. We need to learn more about the CRM's villain status, right? Why are they villains? Because there are certain aspects to them where I'm like, oh, I'll gladly join them, right? I'd rather live a normal lifestyle than a shitty lifestyle in Alexandria, I mean, to be honest. But they do have that other side to them. And so that's what I mean. I want to learn a lot more. Yeah, they did destroy or kill 9 or 10,000 people or however many people it was at the campus colony. But you know what I mean? I want to know why. And so yes, that makes them villains and makes them pretty messed up. But maybe it's not the CRM. It's just the people in charge. There's a lot here that we need to know. We also see that Hope and Iris are going to reunite, and that was one of the things that I was most excited for season 2 was how are you going to get Hope back with everyone? Also, sorry, Chelsea just came in here and brought me my Starbucks. So if you heard a little squeak there, she just came in. Anyways, it does look like for this last season here, the Cure storyline is going to be the major storyline here. It's going to be the purpose of the CRM. And if you're watching a trailer and you focus on what the narrative is, what are the characters talking about? What are the environments we're seeing? And that's kind of, whenever I break down trailers, that's one of the things that I look at the most. What is the trailer saying the most? And what are all the characters saying? Specifically, what are the locations that we're seeing? And if you look at all of it, it really is the CRM's motives and the Cure storyline, right? And I think we're going to learn more about their motivations and their purpose. And they believe that they are the light of the world. And so a lot of that is that Cure storyline, right? And what they're willing to do to find a cure. And I think that's the big thing here. And I think that Cure storyline, that's why I think it's the major one, because I think they're willing to do some very terrible things in order to find the cure. And I mean, that's what we have to learn. And I think that's why there's this whole anti-CRM group here. And I think that's where Felix, Will, and Iris and all of them are going to play a role into the story here. Iris does mention at one point that she's going to take down the CRM or something like that. And I just laugh at that because it's okay, calm down. It's those little moments where I know when I watch it, I'm going to cringe. And I don't know what it is about Iris. I just don't like her. I'm trying so hard to like the character. I mean, most of the characters I don't like. It's not just Iris. Literally, most of the characters I don't like. The only character I actually like is Hope. And I'm talking about just the kids, just the teenagers. Hope is the only character I like. Everyone else is just I don't know. I'm not Elton. I wish I could like him, but I don't know. Hope is the only character, and it's probably because she has the most screen time, but she's the only character where I think she's been developed enough to the point where, yeah, people do like the character a lot. Felix and Huck are going to meet again, and I really can't wait for that. I think it'd be cool to get a little showdown, a little fight scene between the two again. But yeah, I mean, I'm really wondering who's going to die next, because that's the thing. A lot of these characters aren't going to survive this last season. I mean, most of them might. I think it's possible that most of them might, but a lot of them are probably going to die. I mean, if you notice, right now it's kind of a reunion of Felix and Will are back together. You know, everyone's finding love and coming together, but I imagine honestly, I picture World Beyond ending horribly. Not horribly in the sense of it's shit writing, but I picture it ending in the sense of there's so many deaths, they fail to take down the CRM, and then there's just big thing here. Jadis plays a role in something, and then boom. Perfect setup for the Rick movies. The CRM are a force to be reckoned with, and these kids couldn't do it. Even with a huge group, whatever their anti-CRM group is going to be called. They are a force to be reckoned with, and the CRM are very dangerous, and maybe everyone dies in the end. There's also this shot of Dr. Bennett killing a CRM soldier. I really wonder what that's about. I mean, that's kind of my prediction here anyways, is that Dr. Bennett's not going to be someone that follows orders down to a T. I just don't see it playing out that way. Honestly, the way I see it playing out is that he will... I do think he's probably going to die, and he is probably one of the more fascinating characters in this last season, because he knows a lot of what's going on with the Cure storyline. And there's that whole relationship between him and Dr. Belshaw. So how is that going to advance in this last part here? And where exactly are they going with the Cure storyline? Because obviously at the end, they're not going to find a cure, but they could get very close. Also, this question here I have for you guys, but is this Percy as a zombie? Because I do wonder if it looks a lot like him, so maybe they're doing tests on him, but it's a very fast shot in the trailer, so maybe this confirms that he dies here, but I don't know, let me know down below. I mean, this shot I absolutely love here. We see the CRM using this Whisperer technique, And right away, I was like, you know what? This could be how they spied on Alexandria. Because if you remember, there were some rumors because of things that Gimple said that the phone that Michonne found with the picture of Judith and Michonne there, because it was an older Judith, that couldn't have been by Rick, because how would Rick have known what Judith looked like now, right? So it's possible that it was planted there by someone who was watching Alexandria. I mean, you're not going to have those troops around looking like that in those black suits, but if you have those walker masks or whisperer masks on, if you're using that technique, then yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And also, that would be a cool Easter egg. Like maybe the CRM learned that technique from the Whisperers, because if they have people everywhere, if they're very knowledgeable about this entire region of the US, then they would definitely know of the Whisperers. They would see this around, or maybe they found a mask somewhere, right? Like they would know more about this. So that's a really cool Easter egg there. I think it would be cool if they actually brought that up. Like, oh yeah, we found this really weird group out there, and they just wear masks or walker masks around, and we're like, oh yeah, maybe this does work, and it works really well, right? But obviously the last shot we do see is of Jadis. My prediction is she's going to be in 2 episodes at a minimum. I don't think it's going to be in 1. I think it'll be in 2, and my prediction is it's going to be something in like maybe episode 1 or 2, or in 3 or 4. And then she takes a break for a bit, and then she appears in the finale. She will be there in the finale for sure, but that's my prediction right now, is 2 episodes, just because, just from previous experiences, you know, they hype up things like this, they confirm this big character is going to make an appearance, and all of a sudden, those little Easter eggs or those things that they're supposed to talk about end up being like 1 episode, and so small. Because they actually brought Jadis back here, though, and they showed her off in the trailer, I do think she's going to appear a lot more. But still, I think 2 episodes. And I think it's mostly going to be by episodes like 9 or 10, around there. But anyways, I thought the trailer overall was all right. Obviously, the Jadis thing was like a big thing. Like, I never felt excited like that in a long time. But then again, like that reveal there, I didn't see that in the trailer. I actually saw people posting about it on Twitter. So I saw that image of her first, and then watched the trailer, and I was like, oh, so that was the reveal. I wish I would have watched the trailer first, because I think that would have been really cool to see that reveal, but still, really huge news. I mean, like, to have her coming back definitely makes this story so much better. In terms of the actual characters, like our main cast here in the trailer, I mean, I think I'm going to like them a lot more than I did in season 1, because we're not going into, like, character development stuff, and that's the thing. I just don't care to do that with these characters right now. I just don't. Season 1 was all about that, and I hated it, because these characters, to be honest, they're not our Walking Dead cast. I just really don't care, and I don't really care too much about the spinoff besides all of the Rick stuff. But because they can actually start to get into some CRM stuff here, and you know, stop talking about like, this is where I'm from, and showing us the backstory. And I know that stuff's important, but I hate that. Just have our characters doing stuff. We can learn about them at some point later on. And so anyways, I think that's why I might like them a lot more. But anyways, post all your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.